Hello, Christine here with a special episode of the CoLiving Code Show. This is actually my State of CoLiving 2019 report for all of you guys to listen and watch. And I'm here on a beautiful Sunday in San Diego at my office and just thought this would be a perfect opportunity to go over the State of CoLiving currently. It's September 2019. It's a very exciting industry that's only getting more exciting. And so I will walk through a few things. First, thank you so much to everybody for following the show. You know, I know some of you guys watch on YouTube during your lunch break on Wednesdays, or you tell me you've listened to it in your car during your commute on Spotify or SoundCloud or iTunes. And just, I love hearing that. You know, and obviously I'm super grateful to all the incredible guests we've had on this show around the world. You know, these are truly pioneers in this space. You know, some have started as early as 2012, which again, I can't even imagine talking about co-living back then. You know, co-working wasn't even that popular quite yet. You know, and they're so open about sharing that journey and their insights, which is so valuable for all of the new players coming into this space. So everything I talk about obviously is based on my personal knowledge, my personal experience in this space as both a consumer of co-living and also an actual co-living operator in California. And the consumer side has been fun because I'm back on that side, you know, and I was able to be in the European market, both in the Netherlands and Germany, and you know, see co-living and it really being engulfed in co-living in Europe and then also back here in the States. So it's nice to have those two different perspectives. And then obviously I have some incredible private conversations one-on-one with some of the largest operators from around the world. And some have backgrounds in launching huge hotel chains, also significant backgrounds in private equity, investment banking, real estate. And again, this is knowledge that I always try to hopefully spread to other people and publicly just to push this movement forward. And as most of you know, we published the Q3 of our co-living industry report last month. So you guys, the key insight report was publicly shared with everybody where we pulled key insights. And then the full report was only shared with the operators who participated by sharing their own personal data so we can compile everything. You know, obviously we're not a research firm, technically. Kindred is not. We're not McKinsey, we're not JLL. However, our team is super passionate about creating early benchmarks for this industry and statistical data. And we'll continue to do so as the industry quickly expands. And, you know, so the number one need, I'm going to go over a couple key points from that report. The number one most surprising thing on the report was the need for outside capital, which was 77% of the participants. And, you know, if you guys are watching on YouTube, I'm showing it right now, you'll see, you know, the dollar amounts that people are needing. I'm assuming most of this is to purchase actual real estate, but some of it might be for, you know, the management side, operational side, or the tech side. So I was really surprised. That's a high number. And the second big surprise to me personally, after we put the report together, was the breakdown of tech needs. Okay, so we gave a big list of, like, on the tech side, what type of reporting, what insights do you need your technology to provide every month? And, you know, harmony and fulfillment of residents and the net performer score, which a net performer score is usually, you know, how happy are your guests and residents at your co-living concept. These, as you'll see again, if you're watching on YouTube, these are the two least desired features that people wanted. And they're the most customer-centric. So if we are wanting to provide true housing and community for humans, this means we need to start with the customer first and make sure we're doing everything in our power to make them happy. And this will drive the other insights like revenue and net income in a positive direction. So they kind of parlay into each other. So again, maybe just thinking about that for your own communities, making sure the residents and the guests are front and center and their feedback is valued and important, and that you have that data just with a couple clicks is super important. Okay, next I'm going to go over some of the questions I get asked the most whenever I'm speaking to other leaders in the space, or if I'm at a CoLiving event or conference, I kind of get asked the same questions over and over, which is great. I love it. Number one, starting with who's going to be the number one global player, because there isn't one yet. And we know that, but I'm sure there will be soon. Similar to the hotel industry, right? So there was a bunch of little boutique hotels, small hotels around the world. And then you have the Hyatts and the Marriotts, come up and start rolling up some of those. I think the same thing's going to happen in CoLiving, and I've talked about that multiple times. I don't know who that's going to be. It'll be exciting to watch. It'll be also exciting to see some of the current brands just expand into different countries, which is happening now, and I love seeing that. Next question is, when was the biggest shift tipping point for CoLiving? Again, I've just been in this a few years, but I very clearly remember when it was. It was December of last year, December 2018. I know that PMG, which is a US-based company, announced that they were going to inject over $1 billion into CoLiving, which is their ex-social communities brand, a really cool brand here in the States. And they're in Chicago, Miami, and a few other cities. And just 2 weeks later, then Medici in Europe also announced they were going to inject over $1 billion into CoLiving, into their brand quarters. And so that was a 2-week period in December 2018. And I just immediately, it was kind of that original tipping point where investors really started paying attention to this sector and getting excited about it. So that was really cool to see. Next question is, when will CoLiving be an official asset class? I've said it a bunch and I'm sticking to it. I know we're in September 2019. I did say it was going to be sometime this year. We still have a couple months left in the year for it to happen. It's the banking institutions that are going to guide this, and different countries, have different, it's not going to be everybody at the same time, obviously, but there's going to be a banking institute in one country that actually classifies CoLiving as its own asset class. Just like what happened with student accommodations, the US, UK, and Western Europe were kind of the first to have that as an official asset class, and that wasn't very long ago. But again, CoLiving's different than student accommodations, even though it's a little similar. So I'm excited to see when that happens. Next question in regards to European markets and North American market, when it comes to CoLiving, which one's bigger, which one's better? Again, I think I get asked this question the most because I've been, I was over in Europe, now I'm back in the States, and each country's kind of curious. PBSA, which is purpose-built student accommodations, is super common in Europe, okay, right? And, I saw a lot of that there, and it was really cool because here in the States, most colleges have dorms like on site on university, just the way they've designed them here versus in Europe. A lot of college universities are like dead smack in a city, and it's just an office building, and then people have to find some sort of living close by. So Europe has a lot more smaller niche concepts when it comes to CoLiving, but really cool ones, and high occupancy rates is what I noticed when I was there. Very well thought out. And then in the States, I feel like it's a little more institutionalized. It's on a bigger scale. You see, concepts being built of 300 units plus over here very quickly. But at the same time, I can tell, and I know they're building it to possibly convert back to multifamily, which I don't think that that's the best idea. I feel like it's great to hear the ones that are going all in and they're building specifically for CoLiving. And there are some incredible concepts that are creating, 5-bedroom, units with 1 kitchen, 1 living room, so 5 adults can share, versus, okay, let's still build 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and they could be CoLiving, but then we could revert it back to multifamily if CoLiving doesn't work out or if it's just a fad. So again, that's kind of what's going on here in the States, I've noticed. It's fine, but we'll be curious. Again, I think these are both really great markets to do that. Okay, and another question I get asked a lot, and it's hard because I don't want to play favorites, is which concepts are my personal favorites right now? So I hope I don't offend anybody, but I am going to say them. Zoku, which I've mentioned a million times. I didn't live there in Amsterdam, but I actually co-worked from there for a couple months. And just they've nailed the community feature. They've just nailed it better than anybody I've seen. It's just integrating the people that live and work there into their events, into meeting new people. They have people from around the world that work and live there. It's super diverse. So, and the founder he launched Citizen M Hotel, back in the early 2000s. So he knows hospitality inside out, and it's just such a cool vibe. So anybody in Amsterdam has to visit. Next would be Student Hotel, also in Europe. I stayed there for 3 months, so I can speak on it. Charlie's been on the show. Again, incredible concept, beautiful branding, really fun place. The Collective UK, so and they're branching over here to the States, which is exciting to see. Also, Node Living is a great concept, going into multiple countries, more high-end. Upstart Creative, which is in Hollywood, 400 beds already, rapidly growing, targeting the broke cool kids, as they call them, the people that want to move to Hollywood and try their luck and can do so with $1,000 in their pocket. And I think that's an incredible concept that's affordable. And it's a younger age bracket, obviously, like 18 to 25-year-olds. Ven City, doing amazing things in the communities and also rapidly expanding. Sociable Living out of Canada, the Assemblage in New York. And of course, I have to say the original Epic Entrepreneur House in San Diego, because I live there again. I've lived there before 3 years ago. And it's such an incredible, incredible community of 6 of us. It's a small community, but it's incredible. So yes, that had to make the list. And again, there's so many other ones, and there's new ones opening up, and I'm sure they will be added to my list. So please don't anybody take offense. Next question, are they a real estate company or technology company? This is some co-living concepts that I get asked about. Okay, actually there's probably 3 categories. Real estate company, where they're actually purchasing and holding the assets long-term. Property management company, where maybe they're just doing master leases and they're just managing the actual real estate. Or 3, they are a technology company. Okay, so obviously most of the people that are raising VC money right now are positioning themselves as a tech company. All these co-living operators, especially the ones that they're raising like their A and their B rounds. However, and you go to their website and it cracks me up, and it says like proprietary technology on their website, and it says urban technology, and it says AI and big data, and like all these really cool words that venture capitalists love to see, I guess. Yet, some of the biggest names in this industry are calling our team here at Kindred to build their tech out. And they're just kind of using the out-of-the-box software applications to get by, which is fine. But I go to their website and I'm like, proprietary technology? Like, what's proprietary about this technology? So, super interesting. That's probably been the most shocking to me, is that, behind the curtain, there is not much technology yet, which is exciting for us, and we love building it, and it's fun. And I'll tell you why this is. It's because these operators are on a mad dash to grab as much real estate as they possibly can right now in a very competitive rental market right now. So that's everybody's number one priority. Actually, honestly, I think that's the right way to do it, is just grabbing as much real estate, as many units as you possibly can. And then the tech can follow. Then we could plug that in. However, like obviously the bigger you get, the faster you're scaling, technology is going to start breaking if you're just hacking together different software applications to get by. So again, Kindred, our team is rushing. I'm going to give you an update in a second on where we're at with Kindred. One last thing, speaking of real estate, is asset heavy versus asset light. So asset heavy, again, you're purchasing the buildings. They're your buildings. You have more control. Asset light is you're just doing management, property management pretty much on the buildings. You're signing long-term leases, most of them on average 10 to 15 years. You're furnishing the units, but you're not asset heavy. People ask which is better. I mean, for the long game, obviously to own the buildings is better, right? So you're gonna have a real estate portfolio you're growing. Asset light is, you could be a little more nimble. It's not so much money up front. So I think both work for different reasons. I don't know the percentage offhand how many companies are actually owning their buildings versus leasing their buildings. So the quick Kindred update is we just hit the 1-year mark. Thank you so much to all our private beta customers who have had our back, have given incredible feedback these last 12 months on the platform, on the functionality. I'm excited to announce our last step before our public launch is having the #1 technology firm here in San Diego take everything we've built thus far and layer a very sexy UX UI, making it super user-friendly and beautiful to use. And they will be building out our rent payment processing feature, which I know is everybody's main pain point, because you guys have all these guests and residents paying with all different types of payment arrangements. So whether it's cash, check, Venmo, PayPal, barcodes, like it depends on what country they're from. Some of these are different currencies. Like how can we process all these rents for co-living globally in a seamless manner, and email them a reminder, automatically tack on late fees if there is some. Like how do we make that so seamless for you guys as operators? And that's the biggest module we're building next. It will be live in this November, so just 2 months away. So excited. We currently have a wait list of 154 people that we are now taking deposits for to onboard, because we want to spend the time, we only have a limited team, and we want to make sure we onboard each company really seamlessly, make it easy for you guys. So everybody's putting down deposits right now, and that's going to save their place in line for when we launch in November. We could start onboarding everybody in that order. So reach out if you have questions. Our team is so excited to be able to launch in November of this year. Okay, so next is tips for our industry. Number 1, focus on resident and guest experience, not on being the biggest or the first to market. Sometimes I post stuff on LinkedIn and then I hear everybody chiming in, oh, well, we're the biggest co-living company in the world. But like 6 different people commented that. So I did like, okay, stop guys. It doesn't matter if you're the biggest or the first to market. What matters is the experience you're providing for your guests and your residents. Because soon, very soon, we're gonna see reviews and testimonials starting to come out and online. And what is, again, it's so early, it's hard to see that right now, the feedback of your guests and residents. Did they love living there, or are they complaining? And so soon we are gonna see those reviews coming up online. So please, please, please focus on that. You don't have to be the biggest or the best. That will come with time if you're providing an amazing experience for your residents. Number 2 is saying how many units that you have right now under management. There's 2 different categories. There are units in pipeline. So that's future committed units. And again, this number gets very funky because some people will say, oh, we have 10,000 units in the pipeline, yet they don't have they just have concepts, but the concepts aren't even approved yet by the cities, but yet they're still saying, oh, we have 10,000 in the pipeline. I think that you should have actual agreements signed and they're actually under construction and slated out to say in the pipeline. But again, that's just my personal opinion. Units under management are actual units being occupied at this time. Then that's how many units you have. And that's why we're seeing so many different numbers floating around for different concepts, because they're not deciphering between the 2. So again, projections of units obtained and under direct management, because we do see in our surveys we do, okay, how many units current? They say like 20. How many are you going to have in the next year? They'll say like 1,000, which in 1 year to have that much growth is a little difficult. Not saying it's impossible, but as humans, we overestimate what we could do in 1 year and we underestimate what we could do in 5 years. So just something to keep in mind. Third tip is there are few companies out there, and this is kind of scary, but they're approaching co-living operators to do a, quote, joint venture or a partnership. They will promise you unlimited funding, support, staff, resources, like anything your heart desires. A perfect dream, right? Okay, well, quickly they will send an agreement and they will own over 60% of your company, meaning you are no longer the decision maker and you're now just a cog in their big corporate wheel. And I've already consulted with a few companies, co-living companies that were approached, and luckily they didn't sign their company away. This is how large, very aggressive roll-ups and acquisitions happen. So please, please, please use caution when getting approached on these perfect deals that seem perfect, but they're not going to be perfect after it's said and done. And again, this industry is so new that I think it's too early for a big player to start doing global roll-up, but you never know. Fourth is co-living influencers. So these people, and again, I've caught wind of this like a month or 2 ago, and I'm like, you know what, we need to publicly at least say something really quick. They're offering to promote your community. They're going to create beautiful marketing videos. They're going to bring a video team out, and they're going to share it on Instagram, and they're going to promote your community in trade to live there for free. And maybe even you have to pay them also. I don't know. Then they end up not posting anything and jumping to the next community with the same offer. And I've already had multiple horror stories forwarded to me that this has happened. So please use caution when being approached for this. So State of CoLiving 2019. Am I forgetting anything? I think that's it, you guys. I feel like I'm losing my voice. Sorry. Let me wrap up by saying that I'm really excited to be speaking at some incredible prop tech and real estate and co-living events coming up. Please let me know if you'll be there. I'd love to say hi and meet you in person. Here's the first one. The first one coming up is the big prop tech summit in Oslo, Norway. And that's on October 10th. I'll be one of the keynote speakers. It looks like an incredible event. I'm personally excited because I've never been to Norway yet, so I can cross that off my list in Europe. And then after that is the class of 2020. This is their huge annual conference in Berlin, Germany on November 6th and 7th. Another amazing organization that I got to spend time with in Amsterdam. That's where their headquarters are. And then I will actually be leading the co-living panel. So I'll actually just be moderating a panel, which will be really fun with some incredible leaders in co-living from around the world. Next would be the Rico Tech, which is Real Estate and Construction Technologies Conference in Helsinki, Finland. And that's on November 20th. And then lastly, so far coming up, really excited because I'm on the board of directors for this organization. So I am pretty biased about saying this will probably be my favorite event. It's the CoLiving Hub Global Conference. It's our second annual one. The last one was in Spain. Now this one will be in Los Angeles, California. So I'm excited. It's April. We're still picking the weekend out, but it'll be sometime late April 2020. So please reach out if you want to be a speaker at that event or a sponsor. Love to have you. And there you have it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the State of CoLiving 2019 update, some fun stuff, exciting industry. Excited to have you guys along for the ride. Thank you so much for checking out today's episode. If you want to learn more about co-living, you could check out my book on Amazon, The CoLiving Code. And of course, if you're looking for the perfect software to power your co-living concept, check out Kindred.io, KNDRD.io. Thanks. And a quick thank you to SPX Agency for all of the graphics, animation, and design on our YouTube channel.